whatchamacallit, we take the utmost satisfaction in our products and we guarantee it. But up to the year, you should have bought the extended warranty. And so we respectfully decline it. So then I wrote back saying, I respectfully decline your decline.
Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that this show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
And you are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Yes, once again, or for the very first time. For the first time. Well, we're recording earlier in the day.
This is a little, well, last week's episode was recording. At the time of recording, there was a very exciting baseball game on.
Yes.
Or a baseball game nonetheless. And as we were gushing,
the way we wanted.
No, unfortunately not. Many of our crystal ball predictions were squashed probably before the episode even published. But we still stand by the fuck the Dodgers.
Yes. FTD.
The Giants, at the time of recording, have taken a 2-1 lead.
Yes.
Last night's game was a 1-0.
I mean, it's about as tight as it gets.
NL West nail biter.
Seventh or eighth inning? What inning was it?
I mean, and both teams played exceptionally. There was hardly any mistakes made.
No, there was, yeah. It's funny. So we had the group message going. Mm-hmm. And Joe
was lit. It was lit during the game.
And Joe would text me on the side because I was not responding, if you didn't notice after a while. Yeah. Everything was coming in out of order. So I had no fucking idea what was being said. Like everything was coming in like it was just way out of order. So like it was all like I needed the Enigma machine to make sense of this conversation. So I just said, fuck it.
You tapped out?
Yeah. The game was too stressful. I was already like, I was like, oh, and then like I was trying to figure out what was going on. I would get like, you would like, so I have an Android. So like when you like laugh or like or comment,
you get another message.
Another message. But I was getting that message of you're laughing or liking of a message I had yet to receive. It was like I could see into the future. Chipper was laughing at something. I don't know what the hell.
Chipper laughed at Joe's text, and you hadn't even gotten Joe's text.
And I don't even know what the text that he was referring to. Like there was like so it was like you were laughing at something like I was like, oh my god. I was like, I give up.
Wow, I don't know who's to blame for. I'm gonna hashtag Team iPhone can't be a fault here. We know this.
I'm saying hashtag Verizon is that fault.
Oh, Verizon, yeah. Well, we got another. I mean, the baseball games have been good, but the fans don't need to hear us gushing about this.
No,
like for 2 episodes in a row. But we will. It will still probably happen. But we're gonna try our best.
It's the Chip and Cern show, so we will do it. We call the shots.
We're gonna try to veer the ship away from baseball, and then without any guardrails, see if we can't keep it that way. But we all know what happens. I mean, someone could grab the wheel and turn it any which way, and who knows what's going to happen.
I don't even know where the conversation's going, even if I start it.
Yeah, that's the most fucking truest shit I've ever heard in my life. Now, for the long-time Chip and Cern Show fans and the Cerny Sluts and the Chipmunks, you will know that Cern has a certain affinity for a certain brand, Samsung, for his appliances, his mobile devices, his tablets. What else do you have? A smartwatch, a phone. Now, I mean, let's just put the number at 12. There's been 12 episodes out of the 200 or 300 that we've done around different issues you've had with Samsung. And
so I'm slowly veering away and sticking to what they do best. Phones and TVs. That's basically what I have now. My smartwatch is a Fossil.
It's using probably the Android Wear.
Yeah, the Wear app.
Or whatever.
Wear, yep. So for now, I think my washer and dryer is like still Samsung's I had. No, it's not. Excuse me, it's GE. So Scratched out. So basically, I think all of my appliances are no longer Samsung.
You diversified
my portfolio.
Your appliance portfolio has been diversified.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the refrigerator, there's multiple ones, but I had 2 Samsung refrigerators in 3 years. Because one was, remember, it was freezing my food in the fridge, and then the other one was like the door was frozen shut, or it was they were horrible.
Wow.
So I made in 2019, so 2 years ago, we got a KitchenAid.
They know about the kitchen.
They do.
It's in their name.
They do. So now, 2 years later, so the lights didn't come on in the fridge. I was like, that's kind of weird. It's like the lights aren't coming on, but then the water wasn't working. The ice machine wasn't working. I was like,
oh no. If that water's not working, I think we'd have everyone would be going thirsty here. Like
I had to go get jugs of water. I had to go get the gallons of water.
They didn't know about the faucet.
There's a nice chlorine smell when you open. Has a nice, almost like it reminds me of swimming. I'm like, ooh, I should go to the pool.
Interesting. Actually, Cerny, maybe put that on the HOA's things to look into.
So I called them, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to send somebody out. There was some local appliance company, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they called me and they said, well, for us to even come out, it's $125. I said, wait a minute, $125 just to come out?
Interesting.
Dude, yep.
And this is, how much is a fridge?
This one was $4,000.
Wow. Okay, I was gonna say 1,000 or 2,000.
No, this one was $4,000. They had the drawer. It was the bells and whistles. We spoil ourselves. I thought this is it.
And I've seen this thing. It's a marvel of modern engineering.
So
it has a good look, good fit and finish on it. It has a lot of nice little features that you don't think, oh, I wish the door did this or it had this, but it had all that shit.
Yeah.
Just like it's
the auto fill, you
can
fill your glass, all sorts of shit. So I said, oh, wait a minute. So it's $125 just to come out? I said, yep. I said, no, fuck you. I said, do I get it back when you figure out, no, it's not covered.
Interesting.
I said, wait a minute, it's not covered. So then I called KitchenAid back and they said, well, that's the only company I work with. I said, this seems like a nice little setup you got going on. A little
racket.
I said, that's bullshit. And they said, well, they have to run a diagnostic and the diagnostic isn't covered. I said, how convenient. They wouldn't have to come out and run a diagnostic if it was running properly. And the lady said, well, yeah, but your fridge is only 2 years old and we only cover it for a year. I said, so a $4,000 fridge has basically the same warranty as your fucking toaster? He's like, yeah, pretty much. I said,
interesting.
I said, bullshit. So then I started arguing with them and I said, listen, I'm really pissed. I said, now this has nothing to do with my first 2 fridges with Samsung, but I went to you. This is my 3rd fridge in 5 years. And now the thing is really loud. It's like, because the battle's gone on for a week and a half. Now the fridge is loud. And I open up the freezer.
Oh.
And Jeffrey's like, my waffles were wet when I pulled them out. It wasn't freezing. So I pulled everything out, put it in the chest freezer before everything thawed and stuff. I said, call them back up. Say, it's not even fucking freezing. Well, I mean, if it's the compressor, then it's covered. If it's, there's
but you don't know
certain parts. Yeah, you don't know. So now I have to just take the $125 off the chin for the fucker to come out. They don't even, and I said, so I sent an email to them. Listing it all out.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, we respectfully decline your request to, whatchamacallit, we take the utmost satisfaction in our products and we guarantee it. But up to the year, you should have bought the extended warranty. And so we respectfully decline it. So then I wrote back saying, I respectfully decline your decline. I said, you obviously don't take the utmost respect or the quality because this thing's only 2 years old and doesn't even do the basic functions that are required of a refrigerator. And then they said, well, we didn't see any recalls on the model within the first 4 months of production, so it's probably just a bum unit. I said, okay, so shouldn't you stand by your quality of your product? You have to listen. You have to hear from them.
Interesting. So they came out to. So did you book the assessment?
Yeah. So they have to come out on Monday. So I had to wait a whole week too.
Interesting.
So that was so nice. I had to put everything in my little tiny fridge out in the garage.
Little college dorm room.
All the stuff that could be spoiled, the milk, the eggs, and the cheese and stuff. go out there and all the stuff is in the chest freezer.
Good thing you got a backup freezer.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh shit.
Interesting. You have had some gnarly luck. I wonder, do you think like they rate the fridge for, let's just say like 2,000 opens before shit goes wrong, and you're putting through like 20,000 opens?
Yeah, I know all the kids just open it up, look at it, and close the door.
But they should know. Everyone's got kids, though. Fuck, it's not like you're
it was just. I mean, I think they're gonna all win this one because it's cool right now. It kind of goes in phases. Like it's like really really loud.
Okay.
It kind of got the temperature. I got my little laser gun out for my pizza oven. I was like, what the fuck temperature is it? I flashed it into the freezer, and I had 33 degrees. I was like, that's not
not
zero.
Cut it there.
I said, let me see. Let me just calibrate it and make sure I'm not off the mark. So I went out to the chest freezer that I know is working with this fucking icicles in it. 12 degrees. I said, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, chilly.
Yeah, quite chilly.
Okay. Well, we wait. Does this fridge have the knock? You remember when there was a fridge that was like you would knock on the window and it would like light up the inside so you could see what's going on?
Nothing that cool.
Was that a gimmick?
Yeah.
It seemed like that was kind of a gimmick.
Yeah, I like the other one with the TV on it, The kids always like we should get that. I'm like, are you going to pull up a chair in front of the fucking fridge and watch TV or what?
There's a 70-inch TV right behind you. Just turn around. You could see it from when you're pouring your...
Yeah, you can see it right over the bar.
Interesting. I have, knock on wood, the only thing I've had issue with appliance-wise is my washer. And that was an LG, I think. Yep, LG. But we've had it. Yeah, that one lasted only about 3 years. And washer dryer brand new are probably looking at $3,000 for the set.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the tub is a front
base.
Loader.
Yeah.
Came undone, so it just basically
like the bearings or whatever it is.
It cracked it, and because we kept using it because we didn't know, it's like, oh, it sounds weird. It's basically just like grinding it down, and it was like totally shot. They're like, oh, you just got to replace it. So I went on the Facebook Marketplace and I found myself a nice sidewalk sale.
Sidewalk sale.
Went by, swooped up what looked to be a laundromat castaway. The white top loader. Yeah. So that we're still rolling with that thing.
It's funny. I told my wife about the fridge. I was like, you know what? I just roll back to the fucking white side by side that my parents had for like 80 years. I swear it's like hand me down from my fucking grandparents. I think was still running.
It probably cost like $1,500 worth of electricity. It was so inefficient. But I have this shitty washer, and it fucks my clothes up, and my running shorts or any like my wife's bras and things, it will like rip them because it's rougher on everything.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, and it's loud as fuck. Super loud. Yes. So eventually it will get replaced, but maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then do I put the sidewalk one back on the sidewalk since it is
left free?
It's like I used free. I used it for 2 years. It had no problems, and it can be yours for the same free price that I paid for it. or do I slap a $50 price tag on it?
I mean, if you're trying, I always do that. It's like if I can get $50, wait, someone's gonna pay me to haul my junk away.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that because if you're giving away for free, people have the expectation that's shitty. But if you're charging like $100,
like
it must totally be working fine.
Yeah.
So to be continued from future episodes. Whenever I get rid of this thing, I think I will put the $100 price tag.
Oh, see what you get. I say yeah,
just to see.
It's always great when you do that, and someone comes with the bargain. Like, oh, would you take 75? Sure.
I always think I'm like, well, I don't know. There's a couple people in line, so let me check if anyone else wants it.
If it's something, I usually do that if it's like if we're selling something and it's like I'm trying to like actually sell it in there.
Yeah.
They're like, will you take? Like, no, there's a people behind you. Or but if it's just something I'm trying to get rid of, I always good. But you know what? I always do this too. Okay, so this is kind of douchey, but I always just like
self-admitted,
self-proclaimed. So if it's something like that, and they said, "Would you take 75?" I said, "Sure," but I'm not helping you load it.
Hey, that's, I did that once. I had a table saw. A fucking Craftsman table saw that I got from some guy in Santa Rosa.
Oh yeah, that was that old one, right? Yeah.
Did you ever see it in person?
It was the same one my grandpa had. Yeah, it was the same one. Yeah, I saw it.
I think it probably
had like
weighed
the fucking the belt on the back of it.
Yeah. So the belt broke, and that was a problem. And then
it was old.
The pulley came off, like would slide off because it didn't have a pin. Anyway, I was like, I'm tired of fucking with this thing. I'm just gonna sell it. And so the guy's like, oh, he bought it. I had it on there for $60 or something. I like pretty much giving it away. It was just taking up room in my garage at that point.
Yeah.
And he said he was going to come by, and I was like, I'm not going to be home, even though I was. So I just wheeled it out front because, like, who's going to come by and steal that giant? Nobody.
And if they do, fuck it.
Yeah. If they do, okay. I lost $60, but it got moved. So that's the important part.
Yeah.
So from my Nest Cam inside the house, I watched this guy struggle mightily, loading, pulling this thing up in the bottom of his, in the back of his truck or whatever.
So there is one time, so I did this first, like, they're selling this dining set. And it was a fucking table of like 4 chairs. It was a legit like dining set.
A full, yeah.
And this guy showed up. He was late. He's one of those like, oh, I'll be there. I'll be late. And he was like, "Would you take like?" And it was like $100. He's like, "Would you take 80? It's all I got on me right now." It's like this. So I go out and he has a car. I was like, "You gotta be shitting me, dude. There's no fucking way." It was like a little like
a Corolla or something.
Yeah, almost like a Honda hatchback. Like it's like.
He thought he was gonna get a whole dining room table and 4 chairs in there.
Yeah, I was like, I walked over. I was like, "You gotta be." I was just thinking, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." He's like, "I just got off of work," and he was like kind of talking to me. He was trying his best, and he was like sweating, and he's like, I just got married. This is the very first piece of furniture. And so then I started feeling really
what's with
bad.
The stories?
I don't know. He's like, this is really going to help us out. So, this is a really great deal.
Yeah.
So actually I started feeling really guilty, and I said, listen, you ain't going to get this in your car. I can tell you right now. You can try it want. Unless you tie that fucking thing out like the clampets. He's like, okay. I said, I'll tell you what. This is just like you guys. He's like, we just got married and my wife's pregnant. And I was like, cool. I was like, all right. I said, all right, you guilted me enough. I said, I'll give you the thing and I'll drive it to you and that'll be my good deed. He's like, all right.
A decade.
I got to pay. I said, no, it's cool. Just remember, I said, all I did was like, I said, just remember this day when someone else needs help, just give it to them. He's like, all right, that sounds like a deal. I was like, all right, deal. And that was it. That was, I drove it over to him, dropped it off. I said, it was upstairs. I said, you can carry it upstairs, dude. And it wasn't that heavy. Like he could have done it, Yeah. And he's like, okay. No, that's it. And I was like, all right, we're good. I felt guilty enough, but usually I'm like, fuck them. I'm not helping them do one thing, especially they're trying to drive the price down for some stupid. Then I felt really bad. I was like, all right. I saw the car. At first I was mad. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
I know. I would be irate if someone rolled up in
and then I saw it's all he had. I was like looking inside the car too.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is all they got. I was like, all right, well, and he's trying because then I asked my wife. I said, who were you communicating with? He says the wife. I said, oh, so she sent him after work. She said, yeah. I said, all right, that makes sense.
Okay, that makes more sense. The intro or the backstory on why they have to haggle is interesting.
Yeah,
and I don't take a lot of I just don't believe it.
No, usually I try to look inside the car when I hear it. Like this guy, I could tell because it was like this car had seen better days in 1985. Seen better days, let alone today.
Well, the ones that are funny is like when you're selling something non-essential, like electronic, or like, oh, you're selling your iPad or an old tablet, and they go, I know you're selling it for $200. Will you take $120? I don't really have enough money to feed my kids, and it's like, why are you buying?
Yeah, why are you buying tablet? That was one of the ones like now. Or my favorite is what they're like. All I got on me is I said, you understood the price before you got in the car, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said, that's the price.
And with me, it's because they're coming to my house. It's almost like no effort to just say, all right, well, when you find the rest of the money, let me know.
Yep,
if it's here, let me know. And I just about face come in, and then they're like, "Oh, okay. Oh, like I found.
Yeah.
$40
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually,
in my
I forgot I had my jacket. I was extra. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those I'm not buying. But this guy, he was just like talking to me, and I looked in the car, and I was like, oh. And then when I asked my wife, I said, "Who are you communicating with?" She says, "Oh, his wife." I said, okay. So I don't think. And then when I drove it over to their apartment, that wasn't in the best spot of town. Not in the town I live. I had to drive it out of town, which was. I wish I wouldn't open my trap. I was like, "Fuck! I gotta run out of town. Damn it."
I'm gonna have to charge a mileage
because the guy 55 cents a mile. It's the stage charging.
Yeah. Yeah, is totally. I've been a fan of the contactless pickup or the porch pickup as it's known up here.
Yep, porch pickup.
It's just like, oh yeah, it's right out here. I don't even put it at my porch because I don't even want you getting that close to my front door because I'll just put it right. I'm like, it's right under the light. And I'm like, there's 4 cameras looking at you, so don't get too fucking cute.
Yeah,
because
what's my favorite is like, so Melanie will like to. She's a slinger. She'll flip shit all the time.
Oh, nice! It's a great way to make a buck.
I'll be outside working, and somebody will be standing there, like shining. Oh. You like look up, someone's standing, like, oh, they're like, I'm here for the shirt. I'm like, okay. Melanie? I'm like, do I look like a Melanie? No. What did she say? She said it'd be at the front door. I was like, then I would check the front door. So I have no idea. Because I with caution. I'm just out here living my life.
Just out here trying to annoy my neighbors in the HOA like I do every day, apparently.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Oh man. Any you're still flying under the radar with
everything's been absolved and
okay. Let's just keep this standing as long as
we moved some operations to the backyard, which is even more agitating to the neighbor, but cannot be seen from the street.
You know what? Why didn't you think of this before?
I don't know.
That's great.
I don't know.
Well, I tossed this idea to Cerny. The kids wanted to check out a different park. They're just like, let's go to a park. So I just took off driving. It's in the Tesla, so, everyone's a winner.
The earth.
Everyone's a winner. So we go, I found this kind of like, some parks have like 8 fucking structures and they're all connected via bridges and
I know, zip lines, crazy shit.
I'm like, where was this? We had one fucking slide and
the plastic
rock wall.
Yeah,
no one knew about a rock wall back in the day.
No, it was with the little spirally thing. You just basically the playground was just to climb on shit and do things you're not supposed to do.
Exactly. And then during the summer, they made sure that whatever material they used, it would get hot enough to like blister your hands almost immediately when you were using the monkey bars.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember getting blisters on my hands.
Which I don't know how monkey bars are, how they've, still.
No, they stood the test of time.
I mean, you got a couple things coming up with the monkey bars. One, it's from a heights area.
Melanie broke her arm doing that.
And there's going to be a lot of slip and a lot of falls on that.
Mm-hmm.
2, once you get fucking boys involved, someone's hanging there and just their pants are ripe for pantsing.
Oh,
because they're just
yes,
right there. I mean, that was a thing for many, many years.
Oh yeah, that's why after a while, you get pants once and you never go to monkey bars again.
And then the activity is just so blister inducing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like whoever's designing playgrounds, there's got to be a new thing.
I saw one
monkey
was
bars,
a zip
but
line.
I don't know.
I said, "Holy shit!"
What?
A zip line.
Oh, we have one of those. It's pretty cool. It's I would say it's probably 100-foot.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Wow, this is pretty sweet.
And at the end, they have to put the stopper because you can't go 100% speed all the way to the post because you'll end up like a woodpecker or something. And then so they put a safety catch, but the one we have had you get enough speed, but by the time you hit the safety, the slowdown thing, it really yanks all the kids on it. It yanks them up. They're like flying back. It's good for it. It'll throw you. It'll throw you if you're not paying attention.
I like it.
It's a good one. Well, Cerny, I know we said we weren't going to talk about baseball, but we can't help it.
Nope.
Now, you and I, seasoned fans of the game, we talked about this last week. We're not bored by baseball, but we understand why people think that it's boring.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't blame some people saying that's boring. That's fine. I get it.
So just earlier today, I think I sent this to you. I'm gonna share. We're gonna do a little screen share, Cerny.
Oh.
On Bloomberg, this is obviously a clickbait.
Oh yeah.
This is what they call a clickbait article. MLB is testing ways to fix baseball's boredom problem. So,
okay.
I thought we would read through this. We get a little. We chat through some of these because if you pay any attention to baseball, this is something that I feel like every year they're talking about. How do we make the games faster? How do we make pace of play quicker? How do we get?
It's actually gotten worse. That was the one stat I saw. It's actually gotten worse.
And I mean, so far, what are the notable things that they've done? They've limited the batters being able to
Steph, the Nomar Garcia para, where he has to do this whole voodoo ritual between every
thing,
pitch.
yes.
It was crazy.
Okay, so there's that one. Is the pitch clock a thing still?
The pitch clock's a thing.
Okay, but I've never seen anyone violate that.
No, and actually, I have seen people violate it and just kind of goes unchecked.
Oh, they just roll 3 seconds over it, but it's too late.
Yeah,
so
but I think it's
whatever.
I forget what the penalty is, but it's like the umpire's fuck it, I ain't gonna.
Yeah, enforcement might be tough on that one.
Start a fucking fight over 3 seconds.
Okay, so in the Atlantic League, which
also they have the extra inning man on second.
Now, what's your hot take on that one, Cerny?
I don't mind it, but I see there's a real clamor to get rid of it, which is fine with me. I'm actually okay with it because I don't think the extra innings is what's dragging the games on. Because you have extras, but it's not all the time. I would say probably true. 5 to 10% of your games are going to go to extras.
I would love to know that stat. We'll look that up. Not right now, certainly, but at some other time. I actually like the runner on second. Now, I do like how they dropped it for the playoffs because that'd be a hell of a way to lose a playoff game on.
Oh, yes. You can't do that. That one, no.
Yeah. But I didn't really mind it because, well, I don't know. I'd have to see the data. And, the AWS sponsorship on the MLB, I feel like they can crunch some numbers about, what's the average extra inning?
4%.
How many innings?
4%.
4%. That's all.
That's it. 4% in the extras.
So then I say the runner on second is almost a non-issue.
Yeah. So we're hanging on an outlier here to try to speed up the game. You're hanging on 4% of your games to speed up the game. Come on.
So Cerny and me being the data-driven folks we are, we say this is a non-issue.
Yeah.
Now, the Atlantic League is it's not the minor leagues. It's not your single A or your rookie, single A, double A, triple A. It's some other sort of independent type league that is owned, I believe, by the MLB, or the MLB has some involvement in it.
Yeah.
But there's also no unions. I was reading here. Let me see here. Yes. Okay. Since 2019, the MLB has been using the low profile. That's a nice, interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
The low profile Atlantic League, whose players aren't unionized and have little power to object, as a test lab for rule changes aimed at making games shorter and more exciting. Okay. So here's one that they tested out in an August 11th game. So since 1893, the pitcher's mound has been set at 60 feet 6 inches.
Yeah.
But in this one game on August 11th, they moved it a foot back to 61 feet 6 inches.
Okay, so they're basically trying to get more runs. That's basically.
I would think the result that I see of this change is it's making pitchers less effective.
Yeah. So in essence, in my opinion, then you're not actually shortening the game; you're extending the game because you have runners on and all the other shit.
Now, the Giants games that are versus the Dodgers that are 1-0 or 2-1 or some really low scoring like that, where it's a pitcher's duel, those things are done in less than 2 hours. It feels like.
Yeah, that last night's game at the time of recording was pretty quick.
Yeah, it wasn't a draggy on thing. Like if you score 6 runs in an inning, I mean that's taken 30 plus minutes because that's just a long time.
Yeah.
to be up there. So the article, the person who wrote the article pointed out that the mound was back further, and they didn't even notice. They just said they liked how affordable the game was, basically. They were surprised to learn this, but the conversation quickly returned to how nice it was to go to a baseball game without spending hundreds of dollars. So it sounds like your boring problem might be a financial problem now. There is also talk, including letting batters try to steal first base, making the bases bigger and easier to reach.
I don't know about that. That's
strictly limiting visits to the mound by coaches, and then using the ABS, automated ball strike system, robo-umps. So then they're going to test these out, and if they work well, then they'll try to implement them. I guess they'll probably try them out in spring training and see how it goes. Okay, so as Cerny was saying here, the average minutes per 9-inning game in 1980, it looked to be about 150 minutes, so just a bit over 2 hours.
Okay.
That has since skyrocketed to 190 minutes.
Skyrocketed.
So 40 minutes extra baseball in 41 years. Strikeouts per game, less than 5 to almost 9 now, which that's interesting. I would think that those two graphs would be if strikeouts are going up, but let's keep reading. Home runs per game, let's call it 0.6 home runs per game to now getting close to 1.5 home runs a game. Doubles per game has not, well, there was quite the doubles. I'm guessing that's a steroid
19.
era. It got to be almost 2 doubles per game, but then now it's about at a double and a half. Triples per game really fell off the table from 0.26 triples down to almost 1.
Guys got cannons and stuff now. It's kind of tough to.
And they're making these parks less. They're not making them so spacious because they.
Yes.
The parks are being built to try to accommodate.
So I don't think it's a coincidence that the home runs per game's gone up and then the triples have gone down.
No coincidence there. Now, Cerny, what do you think about this? Letting batters try to steal first base?
That's a terrible idea.
That's a
terrible.
Terrible idea. That's just terrible. What is that going to look like?
I don't even know. You just take off, and then the fucking guy steps off and goes to. I don't. You'd have to hope for like the catcher like fucking overthrowing the pitcher or something like that.
Right. So in baseball, there
Odd Van Poppers.
Chuck Knobloch's at the first. There is a little bit of nuance in the rules that for only the third strike, if it's dropped by the catcher, the batter has the opportunity to make it to first base.
Yeah.
And stay on first if he reaches it safely. It's still a strikeout, but he could get to first base. I guess it would be an E2.
Yeah, and it won't count so it counts as a strikeout for the pitcher and the batter, but it doesn't actually count as an out or anything of that nature.
But you are on base, so that's good for your on base percentage, I guess, and probably some other sabermetrics. But whenever that happens, that probably happens, what, Cerny? 2 times a game, maybe? Once a game, once or twice, maybe?
If that, yeah. Usually the guy doesn't take off. He just...
How many times... Exactly. How many times have you seen that turn up to be a safe at first?
Maybe like once or twice a year.
In my life. Once or twice in my life.
yeah, probably.
So I don't get what stealing first.
That's dumb. That's just... So you know what? So I just looked it up real quick.
Okay.
So they said of action between baseball and football is only about 11-minute separation. There's only 11 minutes of action differential between baseball and football. So the game's probably pretty goddamn close to each other.
Nobody's complaining about football games being
no.
too long.
So this is what I think. Because when you grow up in the Pee Wee sport, there's so much money in football going into high school and stuff. They celebrate football. So everyone kind of gets into that. Remember, we played baseball. We were always just kind of like, we won the fucking section champions. And we were like, oh, okay, cool, guys.
Yeah, they were like, oh, yeah, we'll hang your flag up or whatever.
Yeah, but no
banner.
one, because they don't pay to come to the games. There's no real money. Remember, we had to beg for fucking uniforms.
Yeah.
We're the only sport out there, well, besides the basketball team, but we're basically at that time the only sport out there actually winning. And we didn't have anybody in the fucking stands because no one gave a shit about baseball because it was never promoted. So I think that spills on into later because then, these kids grow up and they're like, oh, cool. I went to the football games because it was like, you have homecoming, you have all those things to celebrate football, and baseball is kind of like, just kind of out there.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point because if it was a cool thing that, everyone in high school goes to the baseball games because the baseball games are, the place to be or cool or whatever, then
you would learn about the game and kind of understand it, and then you would come to appreciate it. Because, listen, I watched both baseball and football could be boring as fuck too, like run up the middle. Oh, pass incomplete.
Yeah, they're going to run the clock out.
Punt.
Yep.
Oh, okay, here we go again. Run out the middle, run to the left. Sack for 3-yard loss. Punt. It's like, okay, yeah, this is exciting.
Thrilling, yeah. Totally. I mean, those are some great points, and the 11 minutes thing is very interesting. Baseball's 11 minutes longer.
Yeah, of action, throughout TV timeouts, all that shit. It's about 10 minutes and 43 seconds.
And football has a whole halftime that they take for themselves to rest.
Yeah. So it's, I
don't know how that's...
I think if you... I guess indoctrinated, more people about the game, then you would understand it. And then that's why I say I understand people say it's boring because they don't understand what they're looking at. There's little nuances and stuff that we look for because we played it that we know. Like, he's got it. It's 0-2 and he throws it right down the middle. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Because we get how wild that is. So I don't even know how the mechanics of stealing first base would even work. So
that's out.
I don't. We're going to scratch that one off this. So we'll
whoever
Bloomberg
brought that up in the room and it got passed as something to be talked about should be reprimanded.
It must have been on. Like the big wigs are out for a week and they're like, let's put it on the board.
It's like, you know 10. What they did? Yeah, I bet you they did. They probably like pulled some fucking people outside of like a minor league game. They were drunk. Like, what do you think would be a great idea? Like, stealing first. Write it down.
But when you get there, you have to drink 4 beers and spin around the base. Okay, making the bases bigger and easier to reach. I never really thought that there was a problem or that having larger bases would be...
It's like softball.
Faster?
Because, softball has like the double bases so they don't collide, with the big fella that's like 45 and his glory years have passed us behind,
Yeah, they got the safety base.
Yeah,
there's 2 bases. There's the one that is actually where the base should be. That's first base, and that's the one the first base or whoever's catching the ball first stands on. Then there's a little orange one, not a little, same size base, orange.
It's like a twin.
Yeah, and you just run through that one. That's the base you run to instead. Do you think making the bases bigger is going to do anything?
It's only going to... No, because then you could have more interpretation from the umpire and then more argument from the fucking manager, and the longer the game goes.
Yep. Okay. Now, so we're out on this. I don't even know. I would love to see the brief. I want to see the brief on why the bases need to be bigger and see what... I could be convinced.
I mean, I think they limited the amount of mound visits, which could help. It's like...
Yes.
It's like the Little League rules. Like, you're out there 3 times, whatever it is, 3rd time you're out. Remember those?
Well, this has been, especially in the playoffs, every pitch is under, or every appearance and whatever is under so much scrutiny that, the third baseman will come over and he'll have a quick chat, and they now have their, like, note card,
I know, it's kind of weird.
Scouting reports in their back pocket that they're literally like, okay, he's a pull hitter, blah, blah, blah.
It's like a legion for us.
Yeah.
Half sheet of signs got to go over.
We did. That one coach we had really... I think that's just more of a narcissistic sort of thing. Is like, my signs are so good. Here's what they are. I need you guys to memorize these.
That was a half sheet
more complex
paper.
Yeah, and like double indicators and all sorts. I'm like, Coach, we're playing summer ball. Just fucking relax.
Yeah, we're trying to go to the hotel and chase some ladies.
I know. I'm trying to go like buy some porno mags in some Copenhagen in Georgia. We're not trying to like
in Reno
memorize super complex signs. Okay, so we do agree that limiting visits to the mound by coaches would be good. That would speed the game up for sure.
Also I think they need to be tougher on umpires because you get like the umpire that's not that good. Everybody makes mistakes, and I'm fine with the mistakes, and I'm fine with
not
the
demanding
umpires. I'm not a fan of the robo umpire, but I think these umpires, Angel Hernandez and Joe West, I think that people come out to pay money to watch them fucking call balls and strikes. That's prolonging the game because you get how many times you got to argue, and how many times the guy gonna fucking walk around the base going, "What the fuck," or the pitcher staring at the mound, like just throws the ball and like leaves the lip noodle down there, just staring at home plate, like looking for the call.
Just like actually Joe West, if that was his last game, he had a 96 or 98%.
98. So I thought he was fine. Stat Boy Dan disagreed. He said he boosted more, but I thought he was
I'm not a fan of Joe West or Angel Hernandez, but I do think Joe West called a good game.
Joe West called a very fair game, good game. So
now, Cerny, you mentioned already, but the automated ball strike system, the robo umps. Do you think this will speed the game up?
No, because the guy's got to wait for the call and stuff of that nature too. So you've seen some of the John Boy video, right? Where especially where it's notoriously like that bad, where it's like 2 feet off the plate. He's like, he likes to stand there and strike, and the guy's like, what the fuck,
It is a weird, because the game has a certain kind of rhythm to it, and it's what literally it's been ingrained in you since that, like the pitch, and then the umpire says what it was. And then you throw the ball back to the pitcher. But this pregnant pause that's going to be like injected into this is going to be really
it's
odd.
Like as soon as it popped, he hits the glove, then the call is coming. You know that.
And everyone's like
pop, and the call's hurry or ball. It's like you're waiting for those two sounds, and it's like the guys to sit there like, okay, ball.
Yeah, like how fast is it coming in? I would love to see like one of those How It's Made episodes for the Robo Ump. I want to see the whole thing on it. I don't think robo umps will change the quickness of the game. I do think, and we've talked about this in the GC, this has been a hot group thread topic, is the umpires need to be held much more accountable for their performance.
Yes.
If you're like the umpire last night that scoring in the like mid 80s, that's not okay.
In
for
a
the
playoff game, you should not have another playoff game.
He should be taken out of the rotation, and they bring in Joe Schmo umpire, or you want to say fuck their seniority. I want who is giving me the consistent best.
There's some umpire that's on John Boy a few times. He looks like he's like 12, but like I guess John Boy did think because fuck, he is accurate. I mean, he is accurate as shit. I mean, give that guy a shot. I never see that guy.
Yeah.
You always see the same guys.
Yeah, they really got to mix it up. I think the problem is that the umpire union is so strong.
Yeah,
that we're not gonna see anything like that. But we were talking about it would be cool to have a system of like, hey, at the end of the game, they got the data. Why can't you crunch the stats on how the umpire did?
Yeah.
And publish that scorecard and
post
talk
it right
about
up there, right on the fucking Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Angel Hernandez. F.
That would be that. I think that would be good. And then there's some system that, because for the umpires, there's no mandatory retirement age. So then you get these old fucks like Joe West who feel like they still got something to prove.
When you're in a movie like Naked Gun and 33 and a Third, and the leading character is fucking dead of old age, and you're still umpiring, come on, dude.
That's a good point. So they need to be. I think they need to be moving these umpires around a little bit more. I like to see a little bit more ups and downs throughout the year.
Yeah, I do too. So
for sure,
I think speeding up the game. I don't think you need to. So the problem is they're trying to speed up the game. I think you need the illusion of the illusion of actually, just less like, because there is a lot of, and there's always
downtime.
You play baseball, they're always playing games with the fuck. I need to get the guy warm in the bullpen. This guy's so let me go out there and
stall,
fiddle fuck around. I mean, that's just part of the game. So if you play, you're like, he's just stalling. He's just trying to get this fucker warm. So you're gonna have to create something. And I don't know the answer right now, but you have to create something that stops those kind of interruptions. Because like the playoffs are exciting because first off, there's a lot on the line, and I think it's also part of it that football has because. And I'm not saying that they should shorten the baseball season, but some of the football is because you only got 17 games. That's it. Baseball, you got 162. So you lose tomorrow. It's like, or today, it's like, fuck. Huh. We got you got 161 left.
We'll get them next week. Yeah, that's a good point. The 16, there's a lot more on each game, a lot more riding on each game.
So I think 17 now because they actually extended it by one game in the NFL.
Oh, right.
So I think it's there's that, but in playoffs, like if you notice, there's very little fuck around. Like it is, everyone's got to get a rhythm. Everyone's trying to catch fire. That's
yes.
I think that's the secret. It's the secret sauce, but I don't know how to achieve that for a full season.
That will be tough to replicate for 162 games times 32 teams or whatever it is now. I think why I do like the replay, and I think they get it right most of the time on the replay.
Yeah.
And, I know some calls are going to go against my team, and I know some are going to go with my team. But as long as seems like the right call was made, I'm okay with it. And that's my personal stance.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, when I see it, I'm like, I always usually like to call my dad, and I'm always like, oh, you know what? It's probably he's probably out. All right, he's out. Yeah. I'll concede it. He's out.
Yeah.
I hope they blow it, but he's out.
But some of those calls take so fucking long.
Sometimes like it's clear as day. It's like, come on, dude.
And I feel like they have people reviewing as soon as it's a questionable call. Immediately, people should start reviewing to start working on the process. I don't know.
As soon as they stop and you see the assistant coach on the fucking phone, they should be going through it right now.
Go. There's got a challenge.
And as soon as he grabs the headset to say out,
there's a big button. Challenge. They're pulling all controversial clips from the last 15 minutes.
It just lights up in the stadium. It's like a big outer safe, out, fair, foul.
That would be good. So they need to incorporate something like that a little bit. But yeah, I actually, with fan of the show, one of my good buddy, we actually saw an A's game in the flesh.
Oh man, talk about boring.
I know, seriously. First, the Mariners. It was before the Mariners were making
before they were America's team.
Yeah, it was like a week before they turned into America's team and made their playoff push. They rolled the A's, but I will say I have never seen such uninspired baseball in my life than the Oakland Athletics.
Remember, you and I used to argue with those fans all the time. Remember when we were back in our youth? We'd have a couple wobbly pops, and then they would start chanting steroids, and like, wait a minute, you're the last fucking team to start chanting that. Fucking juice comes from Oakland. Sit down.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, like they would throw it around after a strikeout or something, and the third baseman miss it, and they would just let the ball like roll off somewhere, or they're just like walking around. It's just like they didn't give a fuck, and the fans didn't either. I think.
Yeah, no. We were to Las Vegas.
Oh, they had their bags packed.
Trying to go to Las Vegas and join Gruden.
Coach.
Not anymore.
Where's he go? Well, no, he's he gone.
He gone.
When did all this controversy with Gruden spice up?
I think it was Friday. I didn't hear anything about it, so I wasn't really paying attention too much. I think so. This is how Cern works. So the Rams Seahawks will play on Thursday. Rams won. Mm-hmm. I was riding high.
Yeah.
And I was dead set on it was the opening night for Giants Dodgers. So that's the only media that I was consuming was Giants Dodgers and stats. And like, I was just trying to eat it up. So I completely whiffed it until
you had your blinders on. Until
my dad had said something about the emails. So then I researched it and I was like, oh shit. And it was just one thing I had heard before.
How did the emails get out?
So I'm not 100% sure. So I think my dad had said something about, so they're investigating the guy from Washington. The DEA is running through Washington football team. Something was going on.
Yes.
So they're running through some emails, and he had received emails of the topless cheerleaders that were taken. There were some pictures taken of the cheerleaders topless, and against their will, they didn't want to take these pictures, but they took them anyway. So he had received them, and then something about like they were now they're looking at his shit and come upon a bunch of a gold mine of emails where he called the players union. He said the players union rep or something like that. He called him like he has lips like the size of Michelin tires or some kind of stupid shit like that. And then
but like a super racist.
Yeah, super racist. It was something like what? And then he hated like the female refs. He
just needs to go away.
Yeah, he called. He called the guy that the Rams drafted back in 2014 a queer because the first openly gay Sam. Somebody.
Yeah.
He called,
yes.
He called him a queer, and then he said some other shit. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah, they're words that will. Okay, here we go. Gruden also reportedly exchanged emails with Allen and others. So Allen is Allen the Washington football team president, Bruce Allen. So they got some old boys club going on. It sounds like
at that time, Jay Gruden was coaching I think he was his brother. I think he was tied to them somehow.
Okay, so Gruden also reportedly exchanged emails with Allen and others that included photos of women wearing only bikini bottoms. One photo reportedly included 2 Washington football team cheerleaders. Per the New York Times, Gruden and Allen also sometimes included the co-founder of Hooters.
Oh, no.
Okay, so
that explains it.
There we go. We get this. And then an executive who runs the Outback Bowl and the founder of some emails. Okay, and then so
he said some dicey shit.
Okay. Yeah. They're just not being Michael Sam.
Michael Sam, that's who it is. I couldn't remember his name because actually he got cut. But it's a Pokemon chatter going on. But yeah, Michael Sam. But yeah, he said some other stuff too, and I can't quite remember.
About the kneeling.
What was that?
About
the kneeling. Yeah, that's the kneeling. Yeah. He said some name. He called Roger Goodell some names.
Yeah,
so
he called them.
That's why I said that
choice
meme I saw.
Choice. Yeah, was it the Onion? Or
NFL memes. It was. I think it was the
memes.
NFL memes. John Gruden apologizes to the Jewish community basically for not including him in his hateful rants.
Now, I there's a lot of. I think the cancel culture that's a whole nother subject that we won't talk about on this episode. But
but something like this is when you go over the line, when it's just something I think small or something like this. But this is like he has a history of.
This is
you can't
who
just
he
apply
is.
it to everybody. It can't be just a.
He didn't like slip up once and say something he wasn't supposed to. This is in the fabric of who he is as a person. And
sending emails. First off, come on.
What are you sending fucking topless emails for? Don't you have a fucking text account?
I think it was funny. I think I saw he just got done building his house in Las Vegas next to Derek Carr, and I was like, oh. Maybe I guess he can stay there. I don't know what kind of job he's going to get after this because I don't think ESPN wants to touch that. Yes,
No.
I think he was sending these emails while he was an analyst for ESPN.
Oof, that's tough. Because he did have. Okay, so he was one of those like analysts on Sunday.
He used to be the Monday night commentator.
Okay,
and you know what?
Yeah.
And this is going to be controversial amongst the football community. He's not a good coach. He's not a good coach. He's about 500 if you look at his record.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay when because he was a Raider, and then he went over to Tampa Bay, and he won the Super Bowl and went over to Tampa Bay. But he also inherited a defense with like 5 fucking future Hall of Famers on there.
So he got handed a
he got gifted
gift wrap for him.
A little silver spoon in his mouth for a Super Bowl.
Interesting.
That's it. Other than that, he hasn't really been that great of a coach.
So he's been riding that one gift,
Mm-hmm.
and he seems like not a great person. So
no, he's always seemed like a douche. But it just confirms it.
Yeah, and I mean, you could tell. I feel like there's a lot of this is correlation. This is loosely correlated, but the intensity of the constant sunburn on someone's face and how bad of a person they are, I feel like they're really highly correlated. Like when you see someone just beat red, oh yeah, you just
with this nasty snarly face all the time,
and visor also correlates with bad person.
Like he's a fucking bookie gonna break your fucking ankles for not paying him up or something.
Oh yeah, he has one of those one of the green visors. Did we ever?
Let me see. You were supposed to pay me 200 cool ones last week, and you didn't show up. Where the fuck were you?
Well, if you don't send me some more topless nudes, I'm not gonna. I know the Hooters co-founder. I'm not gonna get you a spot.
Never mind.
At Hooters, in Fort Lauderdale. You're not gonna be the hostess at Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
I got serious pull down at that Hooters. Says Coach Gruden.
The same Hooters that Chipper Jones got. No, right.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure I think he knocked up someone. Fort Lauderdale. Is that why I have that reference in my head? Probably is.
I don't know. I remember he did it. He had that issue.
He did have that. He had a certain affinity. Him and Tiger Woods. They both love the waitressing.
They love the waitresses, love the ladies. Yeah.
Well, anyway, it doesn't make you a bad person, but they're humans. Obviously, should be treated with the utmost kindness and respect.
Except for John Gruden, he's subhuman.
Except for John Gruden, he's a horrible person, and treat him worse. Treat him like the shit he is. Well,
I actually one before we wrap it up. So someone was talking about somebody to say at work, and they were saying, "Well, does that mean he has to forfeit the rest of?" Because he had a 10-year, $100 million contract. He's 3.5 in. Does that mean he has to surrender the money? I said, even if he does, he's already got 30 mil in his pocket.
I don't know how much that house costs though, Cerny.
It's in Vegas. It's probably like a 200 grand.
Oh, it's like, and your 18 bedroom, 25 bath, 3 acre. That's 450,000.
Desert villa.
Yeah. It's 490,000 cactuses on there.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully he's vaccinated because that's important.
That is important.
So
judging by his emails, I'm gonna say no, but I don't know.
That's what I would guess as well. I would also guess this is purely speculation. I would guess I don't know how clean his dick and pussy is. If he's washing it all the time like we recommend. You never know.
I don't know.
You never
Probably
know.
Not very.
Well, horns up, go Hawks, go Giants, fuck the Dodgers.
Fuck the Dodgers, go Rams. We actually play the New York Giants this week.
You know what? One last thing. My Google device, I said, hey, Google, what's the score of the Giants game? The New York Giants don't play until Sunday. I'm like, why did you switch to football season? You should be on baseball season.
If you search Giants today, you didn't find New York, you should have just went with San Francisco.
That's what I thought. But that first one's free, Google. The next one, Chip and Cern, we're gonna send you an invoice.
Along with KitchenAid,
Samsung, KitchenAid,
AT&T. They're always gonna start billing everybody.
I have a Comcast story for next week.
Okay.
You shan't forget. Until next time, I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
Cheers.